Hello everybody and welcome back again to Let's Play The Wolf Among Us. So I think last episode ended with a bit of a cliffhanger, but still before I continue I would like to check out the Book of Fables again. We have a few new entries and this might be the last chance to read them because I don't think there's much left in this game because I mean we almost got the Crooked Man, so unless there is a sudden surprise twist, I don't know if there's still much going on. Even though this chapter of the game hasn't been that long, I mean we just started it last episode, but still, let's read the new entries now to be done with it. The Crooked Lair headquarters occupying a desanctified church. This is just one of many locations the Crooked Man's operation uses to run the Fabletown underworld. Its lounge atmosphere makes for a comfortable meeting place unless you are an unwelcome guest. It is completely boarded up to the outside world and the only way in is through one of the many portals marked by a door with a Crooked Man's Catherine wheel icon scattered throughout the city and elsewhere. Okay. The Crooked Man, crime lord. The Crooked Man has slowly built himself into one of the most powerful figures in Fabletown. His operation started with a crooked sixpence and a crooked house, two things he cared about more than his wife or children, whom he killed rather than let them stand in his way. Oh, charming. In his rise, the Crooked Man has ensnared many fables in his criminal web, providing them with what they need, but always at a high cost. Yeah, so I figured. He's cunning, persuasive, and ruthless. Tiny Tim, Sentry. While most fabled theorize that their longevity and overall well-being is improved by the Mundy World's knowledge of them, for a select few that does not seem to apply. When a malady or injury is an integral part of a fabled story, that notoriety can make recovery nearly impossible. Well, it sucks. That's what Tiny Tim thinks at least, and no medical care or magic, rather none that he can afford, can heal his leg. So because the Mundys think that, you know, he has a broken leg or like a crippled leg, he can't heal it because that's kind of his reputation. That sucks a lot. Vivian Story, the girl with a ribbon. Vivian was the first to bear the curse of the purple ribbon. Removing the ribbon would result in death, and any attempt to talk about it was thwarted by the spell upon it. As time went on, she tried to live a normal life. Eventually, she married a nice man, but he was constantly wondering about the ribbon around her neck. Despite her pleas for him to leave it alone, one night while she was sleeping, he attempted to remove it. As he pulled on the edge of the string, Vivian woke and saw what her husband was doing. In a panic, she pulled away, preventing the ribbon's knot from being undone. Furious, she tried to express the severity of his actions, but her husband was unable to understand. She realized that she couldn't trust him and decided to leave. She lived alone for the rest of her days in the homelands, preferring the safety of isolation to the risk of another betrayal. Okay. The Pudding and Pie, Vivian and Georgie's place. Vivian and Georgie met during the exodus from the homelands, and they helped each other survive the long journey to the mundane world. Upon their arrival, however, they found it hard to make a decent living. With what little money they had, they opened the Pudding and Pie. Operating a strip club may not have been the most desirable occupation, but they figured it was better to be in charge of a place like this than be forced through desperation to work at one. Yeah, unlike all the other people who worked there. I mean, I'm not sure if they were there voluntarily, right? Winterwolf, Bigby's mother. Okay, so his mother was a wolf, obviously. Bigby's mother, Winter, fell in love with the North Wind and bore him 7 wolf cubs, but he quickly grew tired of her and left Winter. Heartbroken and alone, she tried to care for her cubs despite her grief. She was especially fond of Bigby, but as a runt of the litter he was often teased by his older brothers. After Winter's death, Bigby's siblings went in search of their father, but Bigby stayed behind to protect his mother's corpse from scavengers. Unfortunately, he was too small to defend her. From then on, he vowed to eat something bigger each day until he was large enough to confront his father and finally make him pay for the pain he caused his family. That's an interesting piece of backstory. I didn't know that. That's very interesting. The Big Bad Wolf, Bigby's true form. Bigby's true form is that of a giant 8-foot-tall wolf. In addition to his iconic huff and puff power, he has also inherited other abilities from his father, the North Wind. Okay, that's an explanation for that. For example, Bigby is able to hold his breath for an abnormally long amount of time, making it impossible for him to drown. That's useful. Mary's loyalty, part of the job. Bloody Mary began working for the Crooked Man many centuries ago. He promised her freedom to do as she pleased as long as she agreed to act as his personal bodyguard and hitman. Because of the Crooked Man's power and influence, Mary never had to worry about getting caught by the authorities. She enjoys her job immensely and would defend the Crooked Man to the death, mostly because she finds it fun. Well, she got her wish. She defended him to the death, and now she's dead. Okay, that's all the new entries. But yeah, it's time to finally bring in the Crooked Man, so let's resume the game. Nice, you've been waiting for me.
Hello, Bigby. You look tired.
Give me one good reason not to rip you apart right now.
This gun holds 6... I won't miss next time.
Well, that is one.
Before you do anything with me, I thought I should point out a few things. Snow White wants you to bring me back to the woodlands, doesn't she? And that's what I want.
Okay, well, then we're in
You
agreement.
plan to do what she says, don't you?
That's right. But what happens to you once you get there is a different story.
I'm not quite finished. You will bring me back alive. Look, all I ask for is the chance to speak for myself in front of the community. And I'm sure Miss White would agree that I should be given a fair trial. Can we at least agree on that? I will have a trial.
We can.
Are we clear?
The whole town will be calling for your execution. Why would you want me to bring you back there?
Why don't you let me worry about that?
Because I would like to have a few answers
Look,
myself.
There's no reason for us to be at each other's throats here.
That's funny, coming from a guy pointing a gun at my head.
This is just a precaution. I'm sure you understand. I'm no murderer, Mr. Wolf. I didn't kill those women. And I think you know that.
We've
All I'm
been there
asking for
already.
is a chance to explain my side of the story.
Maybe you didn't carry it out, but I don't think Georgie was lying when he said you ordered their deaths.
Georgie would have said anything to save himself. We both know that. I'm a businessman, not a killer.
There's still a lot you have to answer for.
And I will, as long as you agree to my terms. Because I'm not saying another word until I'm brought before the community.
Okay, fine.
I don't mean to belabor the point, but just so we're clear, if you change your mind and decide to do something stupid, you won't get your answers. But you will have a difficult time explaining yourself to Miss White and the rest of this miserable town. You're often reckless, and I worry you're not thinking of the... Let me ask you an honest question. What do you really care about here? Where this case is concerned, I mean. Do you really want the truth? Or do you just want to look like the hero?
Those are all good answers,
Because
actually.
those are two very different things.
This is about justice. I'm the sheriff. I have to do what's right. 2 people were murdered.
And you know who did it. Georgie. He's dead, isn't he? My point being, the killer has been dealt with. You've won.
You really think I'm that stupid?
I understand you have an obligation to bring me in. bet you can brighten up a little. It's over. So, shall we get going? I'd rather not dawdle.
Yes, let's go.
You know, I'm actually looking forward to seeing Miss White again.
All right, let's go. Hand over the gun.
I think I'd rather hold on to it, if you don't mind. What do you say?
Nope.
Hey!
That was easy.
I'm sure Miss White will be pleased. Such a reliable pup. I understand why she'd want to
Just
keep
shut
you
up for a
around.
moment.
You're under arrest. You'll be given a trial in front of your peers.
Can I also gag him?
And your punishment will follow.
Okay, well, it would be easier to kill him, I'm sure. But if we give him a trial, we might find out more about his operation and stuff. So, let's do that.
I know. But we have to do something.
Are you fucking kidding me?
When is this thing
Are
happening?
we sure he's coming?
Yes, you'll have an opportunity to... He's back.
The Crooked Man.
Thank God.
Motherfucker.
Are you okay? It's been hours. We were worried you'd run into some trouble. At the Crooked Man's place.
What? Don't I look okay?
I guess you've been worse.
I guess.
You did well, Sheriff. I'm surprised. Not that you did well, but that, you know... I'm just glad you made it back in one piece.
Look on his
About
face.
time you showed up. Now throw this asshole down the fucking well.
Yes, what are you waiting for?
You
Murderer!
My
You
wife
killed
is
Lily!
dead
was
because
my
of
Where the
sister.
fuck do you
And
get
what about
off?
Faith?
You think you have the right to
did
just do this to
everything you
people?
said.
You're a fucking crook!
This. You should be ashamed.
Shithole.
Everyone, can I have your attention? Thank you all for coming here on such short notice. I know normally we'd schedule a formal hearing, but considering the circumstances, I thought it best if we do this as soon as possible. The Crooked Man is charged with the murder
As
of
I
Faith
already
and...
informed your sheriff, it was Mr. Georgie Porgy who killed those women, not me.
What? It was Georgie?
Georgie.
I don't mean to interrupt you, Miss White.
Georgie may have killed them, but you made the call.
Do I have to explain the situation to you again?
Wait a minute. So you're saying Georgie's the motherfucker who killed my sister? Well, where is he?
Yeah, you're gonna bring that shithead in too, aren't you?
Yes, Sheriff. Where is that rotten scoundrel now?
Is he still
I
out there?
didn't have the
Sincerely
chance
hope
to
not.
bring him in.
Well, where is he?
Sheriff?
I killed him. He's dead.
He's... what?
Dead. So you see, the culprit has been punished. There's no
That
need
doesn't
for
change
this.
anything. We'll deal with it later, but right now, you're the one I'm concerned with.
You called the shots. Georgie made that perfectly clear.
In which case, you still have a lot to answer for.
I
And
was
I
told
don't...
I would be allowed to speak.
We have to read the rest of the
What
charges.
other charges?
If you'd wait a moment.
Let her finish. Then you can have your say.
Got it?
If you insist.
Good.
You are charged with the murder of Faith and Lily, which Georgie carried out on your order, inciting violence against various members of the Fabletown community, including the attempted murder of Sheriff Bigby Wolf,
Twice.
A misunderstanding.
aiding and providing monetary support for the forced prostitution at the Pudding and Pie. Additionally, you are charged with multiple counts of fraud, extortion, racketeering, and the illegal possession and sale of magical artifacts. Now, is there anything you would like to say?
First of all, I had nothing to do with Faith and Lily, so you can strike that one from your little record book.
Bullshit! Like hell you didn't.
Stop the charade. We know you're
Come on,
involved.
it's obvious.
And there's all the other crap he's done.
Everyone just shut up for a minute. You wanted a chance to talk? Well, go ahead.
What?
We all know he's guilty. What the fuck does he need to speak for?
The Crooked Man has committed crimes against this government and, most importantly, its citizens. These charges, if proven, are enough to justify death, upon which your body will be committed to the witching
Where it
well.
fucking belongs.
That's
So
right.
let's get
But
on
we
with it
promised
then.
you a chance to defend yourself, and I won't rob you of that right.
What the
You're
fuck?
really going
This
to let
is
him
about
talk?
justice. If we're ever going to pull ourselves together and make something of this town, we have to start doing things correctly. No more snap judgments, no more secrets. We are going to treat everyone fairly, even when they don't deserve it.
Well said. Well said, Snow. Okay,
This is ridiculous.
let's have a trial.
You have the floor.
Thank you, Miss White. You've all met Georgie. I don't have to tell you what kind of person he was. He was a total scoundrel, lacking in any sort of moral fiber. I hired him as a favor to his family, you see. A promise kept to a dying mother.
Oh,
Are you gonna
jeez.
get to your point or what?
Georgie was working for me, yes. But he was not acting on my behalf when he killed those women. It was his business. And for whatever reason, I'm sure only he could understand, he murdered 2 of his most faithful employees.
Weird,
Had
isn't
nothing
it?
to do with
Tell
it.
the
is such
fucking
bullshit.
truth for
He's
once.
always been a bit of a powder keg.
If you were so offended by it, why'd you cover it up then? If it had nothing to do with you and your shit, then why'd you try to protect him for so
What
long?
cover up? I never made any attempt to hide Georgie's criminal activity from you. I learned of it myself
For
only
fuck's
recently.
sake. Any of you actually believe this bullshit?
Holly, please.
Tell them, Bigby. When you finally showed up at my door last night, wasn't I more than helpful? I answered your questions. I
Well-
was willing to cooperate.
What's he talking about?
I was attacked, yes.
Yeah, and your goons attacked me. Did you forget that part?
They get a bit carried away sometimes, it's true. Loyal to the end. They do it because they want to protect me, as I protected them. You understand wanting to protect what you care about, don't you? You'd do anything. You might even give up an innocent man, just to save someone.
I really hope you're going somewhere with this.
I see, you want to cut right to the point. I can appreciate that. Let me explain this to you. My employees are just that, hired help. I see some of them are here among you. They are not my slaves. They are all free to make their own decisions, as Georgie was.
You're not serious. I know what you do to people. I've seen it firsthand. What you did to Faith. The way you manipulated her. Do you really think any of those girls were free? Do you really think Faith
I'm
wanted
sorry,
to...
Lawrence. I'm sorry that your wife came to me for help, and I'm sorry that I decided against my best judgment to give her a distasteful job.
Right, and you kept them in debt so they couldn't leave.
Yeah. That's what you did to us. How you kept us all
You
in
forget
line.
it was not me who put you in that position. You all act like I'm some kind of tyrant. When your government abandoned you, left you poor and helpless, sniveling on street corners, I was there to look out for you.
Well, but you do exploit people in a vulnerable
Yes,
position.
Wasn't I?
Crane was the one who let this town go to the fucking dogs. The guy who was in your pocket, remember?
Really?
Indeed.
What about Auntie Greenleaf? Her story is not uncommon. She left everything she had back in the homelands. Everything that mattered, anyway. With nowhere else to turn, she came to me for help. And what did I do for you?
You got my tree back.
I got her tree back, and in turn we used her magic to help poor Fables get glamours. Because I helped her, she was able to make a living, provide for herself. And what did they do?
For the longest time, not much. But they asked me to come work for them.
Really? The new deputy mayor wants you on the 13th floor.
No. The wolf offered me the job. She wanted my tree destroyed. If she had her way, I'd be hung out to dry on a clothesline by now.
What?
You were gonna burn her tree? Snow, why would you want that?
I know. Snow made a mistake.
I had very good reasons for asking you to do that. She was working with Crane and the Crooked Man.
It wasn't her fault.
You can lie to yourself, but you can't lie to me. You hated Crane, and you hated him for wanting to fuck you, and you being too soft to notice what he'd do to get it. It had nothing to do with a Crooked Man.
We've made some mistakes. I've made some mistakes. But believe me, I truly want what's best for this town. And that may not always be clear right away. But I want you all to know that I care deeply about all of you. And so does the sheriff.
Yeah, right.
I can't promise you perfection. No one can.
Things haven't been great for a while now, but we'll do better at protecting you. From people like him.
The Crooked Man's been exploiting you. Exploiting your hope for a better life.
Exactly.
You would go to him for help. and he would take that weakness and add it to his strength.
And he certainly didn't do it out of charity.
And if things didn't fall exactly his way, someone would die.
He took Faith and Lily from us. And while we can never get them back, we can certainly punish who's responsible.
They're right.
You're all still afraid of him, even now. But you needn't be. His contamination of this town is over, and those girls will have their justice.
Well, looks like the community has spoken.
Very good, very good. The sentiment is surely appreciated, Miss White. But it doesn't disguise the fact that these accusations are completely unfounded. The sheriff simply doesn't have a particle of evidence linking me to the
Georgie was working for you. Bigby got a confession.
A confession that nobody heard. Now, I'm no barrister, but I think such a statement would carry more weight if Bigby weren't the only one to whom Georgie spoke. Especially given Bigby's history.
What are you talking about?
Meaning what?
Snow?
And what about your history? All you've done to this fucking town.
What do you mean there's no evidence?
Maybe he's... I mean, this doesn't feel right, how we're doing this. I just
Of course it's right. This man tormented all of you, for profit! Georgie
Let me
killed
just
them.
make sure I understand you. You're trying to say that I'm responsible for what Georgie did, because he was working for me at the time, yes?
Yes.
Of course!
Sort of?
Where are you going with this?
If I'm to blame for Georgie's mistakes, shouldn't Miss White be held accountable for Bigby's actions as well?
Like what?
Well, sure.
How about the way he treated poor Tweedledee when he was in your custody? He was beaten to mashed apples while under your watch.
Under my watch.
That wasn't me.
He's right.
Did you
Yeah,
think
that
we'd
was
all just
Bluebeard.
let that go?
That was Bluebeard, not me.
He was a murder suspect.
Besides, Crane was still deputy mayor when that happened.
That too.
Right before you decided to kidnap him.
It was for his own protection. Oh, you're right, dear. Crane was in charge. Sometimes it's hard to tell the difference.
That's enough.
So, you won't answer for your employees' behavior, but I must perish for mine.
This is completely different.
I
We all...
did not order those two girls dead. It simply never happened. Georgie killed Faith and Lily. End of story. They want to scapegoat me for their own tangled ends, but they refuse to answer for their own crimes.
This isn't right.
Oh, please.
Do I
This
have any
isn't the
evidence?
point.
We'll deal with them after we deal with you.
Listen,
That's
I
not
mean, a
true.
certain level of privilege should be afforded to...
To who?
This is how it's always been.
Yes. See, this is exactly to what I'm speaking. We lashed our ropes to this diseased world, and ever since, which one of us has been there for you? Who filled your lives with the promise of more? Who was there while they idly played in their towers, judging you, treating you as mindless children, too stupid to command your own destiny? Without me, who will pay your rent when you're on the verge of eviction? Who will dare challenge their brutality when it leaks to our dear citizens?
Well, you're not doing it out of the kindness
Who will
of your heart.
protect you from the big bad wolf? Who will be the...
Bigby! Miss White!
Oh.
Excuse me, dear.
I wanted to make sure I had the chance to say something.
Why don't you take a moment to catch your breath, little
What's
one?
she doing here?
I'd like to... I need to say something.
We're kind of in the middle of something.
Bluebeard.
Well, might be useful.
Of course. Go right ahead.
You probably don't remember me. I don't know why I was afraid to come
My
here.
dear, I don't
Just
know
shut
what
up. You enslaved us for years. Let us hear stories about what you do. Told us we would lose everything if we stepped just one toe out of line. And we couldn't say a word about it because of these damn ribbons.
Right,
you
the
know
ribbons
what?
aren't working anymore.
Now it's my turn to talk.
Right.
How are you?
I found Vivian's body. Did you kill her? Did he?
Not really.
Sheriff, this is highly irregular.
Be quiet.
Vivian killed herself back at the Pudding and Pie.
I'm sorry, I don't think I know
Nerissa! My name is Nerissa.
It's okay, my dear.
He just realizes what that means.
He ordered them dead. This fucker. Faith and Lily.
That's a lie.
I was in the goddamn room when he did it. Faith and Lily are dead because of you. The only two people who ever gave a damn about me.
And this just confirms it.
He made Georgie do it. It was always him.
You are winning the
Georgie would have
crowd.
never done anything without his say-so. Ever.
You're going to take the word of a stupid...
At least 5 other girls will back me up on this. We all heard you say it.
Did you now?
Looks like we found our evidence.
She saw it firsthand.
He's guilty.
Good enough for me.
Me too.
So that's it, right?
Calm down the witching well.
No, that's too fucking easy for a crook like that.
What do you mean?
He's gotta pay for what he did.
Listen to yourselves!
You're all rats, fleeing from one sinking ship to the next. So quick to latch onto whatever will keep your miserable lives afloat. This is how you want to repay all I've done for you?
What, you take 2 people's lives away and now you want mercy?
What did you expect to happen here? You're getting what you deserve.
Well done, then.
Now, for your sentence.
We don't have to become murderers.
What are you talking about?
He's guilty. I know that, but we don't have to kill anybody. We can imprison him. Lock him up forever. Somewhere he can never hurt anyone again.
Fine with me.
How can we be sure he won't escape?
I can help. We'll use magic.
That's
I
not
assure
good
you.
enough.
Maybe
There will
she
be
has
more
a point.
if he isn't
Hasn't
stopped.
there been
I
enough
don't get
bloodshed
it.
So we
already?
get rid of
It's too
him.
dangerous.
Get him out of here.
We can send him
Everyone,
away.
listen up! Clearly, we're having trouble agreeing on a suitable punishment. So I think
This is going nowhere.
someone needs to make a decision.
Who?
I hope you aren't suggesting yourself.
We should have a vote. Make it democratic.
Do you really think that's going to work?
He's right.
No.
Nobody can agree on anything.
What about Bigby?
What about him?
No,
He was
no.
appointed. He's the only official representative, really. He should be the judge.
Don't put that on
That
me.
makes sense to me.
I guess it does.
Okay.
Of course it does.
Are you sure? This isn't how
It's what the people want, Miss White.
Okay, Mr. Wolf, it's your call.
Okay,
No.
Just do what you think is right.
but you are going to accept my judgment, are you not?
Yes, Sheriff.
And I think at this
is
point,
right.
Teach him a fucking lesson.
No.
He has to
We
die.
can lock him
Just
away.
fucking get rid of
locking him up forever might actually be the worst
Everyone,
punishment.
I'm...
Not this way.
Oh, well. I have to quit them again. Didn't expect this. Oh, yeah, let's punch.
There you are. I hope you all remember this moment. Think of me when you try to sleep.
Oh, stop the victim
Finish it,
act.
Sheriff.
Please, we can still.
End it already.
You're not the victim here, and I'm not going to make you one. Seriously.
You said you had a way to keep him from hurting people.
Wait, you can't be
What
serious.
he's done, you just gonna put him in prison?
This isn't the way, Sheriff.
You're doing the right thing.
Yes, there's a way.
Well, you asked me
All
to
right. Do
pick
it.
a judgment. Here it is. Now just accept it, please. Oh, is that him?
Not what I was expecting. Morning, crooked man.
He's got a sharp tongue. I thought it would be better for everyone if he parted with it.
Thanks, Greenleaf.
I like that.
Work is work, I guess.
Hey, Sheriff. Are you gonna come see the truck off? We're leaving for the farm in a few. Thought you might want to. I don't know.
I'll be down in a minute.
Okay. Great.
This fucking line.
All the guys from the gang now have to come to the office.
Oh, Mr. Wolf, Flycatcher left his keys.
Okay. I guess I'll bring it to him.
Is everything okay? You look...
I'm sorry, Sheriff. I have to take care of this. We'll talk later, okay?
Sure.
Good morning, Miss White.
You're late.
Someone's gonna see you, Colin.
Well, but everyone in here is a fable, right? So why would they care? They know he's a pig, right?
I'm going! Jesus!
We only have like 5 minutes.
Carry me, for fuck's sake! I don't give a shit! You forgot these.
Oh, thank you. It's been pretty busy around here.
Morning, Sheriff. Nice fucking day.
What's going on?
Shit!
Oh, he's
Just
being
go
sent to the
grab that,
farm?
would you? Sorry about all this. I tried to help. Just why the hell did she have to send me and me boy away, huh? You promised me I'd get another chance, but Miss White said I had to go up to the damn farm anyway. I told her I had the money, but she didn't want to hear it.
Wait, Sheriff Bigby, I have something.
You know, he was up crying all night, poor kid.
Can you give this to Miss White, please? Dad says there's no time to say goodbye, so if you could bring it to her, she was nice.
Yeah, sure.
I couldn't take them all with me, and she said she liked that one the best. It's a willow beetle. That's a big one. They're cool, 'cause when they're little, they have these pouches that squirt juice at you if you touch them.
I'm sure she'll love it.
She said it was pretty.
We're about ready to head out.
What's it like at the farm? I've heard ogres live there, and they eat people in their sleep sometimes.
God, I hope not.
Do we have to go? I want to stay here.
Well, we don't have a choice
I feel
anymore.
so sorry for the little frog.
I'm sorry, TJ. But, look on the bright side, okay? There's plenty of space to run around, and a nice river nearby, so you can swim all you want.
Even in daytime?
Yeah. You don't have to worry about the Mundies seeing you. It'll be nice. Come on. It won't be so bad.
Have you been there before?
No. Some of the animals aren't comfortable around wolves, so you wouldn't know, would you?
True.
We're all set.
But for a little frog, it might not be so
Bye,
bad.
Mr. Wolf.
Goodbye, TJ. Hey, Bigby. Where's your friend, Colin? Where's the fucking pig?
Good question.
How should I know?
Yeah, but he somehow managed to avoid being sent to the farm, huh?
Saying
Interesting.
goodbye.
So why Toad and not him? Oh, hi.
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 You're still wearing that thing.
Oh. Yeah. I guess I am. It's not easy to forget. I know it seems like I should be able to. It's just...
It's okay. I get it.
Listen, I came here because I have to tell you something.
What is it?
It's about what happened to Faith and Lily. I'm not sure where to start. Faith, Lily and I, we had this plan. We were gonna find a way out. Leave the pudding and pie for good. But then Faith decided to get some leverage. She stole a picture of Crane and Lily together.
Okay, I figured as much.
The minute Faith stole that photo, we had dirt on one of the Crooked Man's allies. If he found out, I had no choice. You have to understand. You've seen how they kept us quiet in that place. Can you imagine the lengths they go just to silence someone who had physical evidence?
Nerissa, what did you do?
I freaked out, okay? I thought if I came clean to Georgie, he'd get the Crooked Man to leave us alone. We could just forget the whole thing. Maybe try again in a few years.
You what?
So I told him everything. And I begged for mercy for all of us. I didn't want anyone to die over a picture.
Georgie didn't do mercy. You know that.
He could have been reasoned with. I was counting on that. Georgie promised he'd smooth things over with the Crooked Man. But then... Oh, God.
Nobody liked my brand, but if you want it...
Thank you. I don't know what happened, but that night at the club, Georgie came back and told me things had changed. He had to make an example of us. We had committed treason. And while the two of us were sitting there, as he was telling me this, Faith walked in, and I had to watch while Georgie...
Wait, so Georgie told you all this? Not the Crooked Man? Back at the well, you said...
I know what I said.
But it wasn't the truth, was it?
What does it matter? I know the Crooked Man did it. So what if it wasn't the whole truth? It was true enough.
Okay, well, interesting.
I guess what's done is done.
I know he ordered their deaths. I wasn't gonna let him get away with it because of a stupid technicality. Especially after... that night, after Faith. I tried to warn Lily, but she wasn't with her scheduled appointment. So I did the only thing I could do. I left Faith's head at your doorstep.
Oh.
You?
I walked her over here, and
well,
I
that
left
answers
her,
some questions.
just hoping that maybe if I couldn't save them...
You were trying to get my attention. So you started all this.
I just pointed you in the right direction. People like us get forgotten all the time. The Crooked Man was counting on that. When we suffer, we do it in silence. And the world likes it that way. We just fade, like we never existed. I couldn't watch that happen to Faith, or Lily. Nobody cares about us. Not really.
I'm sorry, Nerissa. I'm sorry that's what it took to get me to pay attention.
It'll be different now. You'll make things right. You and Snow.
I don't know. Seems like no matter what I do, it's just not enough for her, or anyone. I just can't win with these people.
I know it might feel that way, but they need you, Bigby. Both of you. You two make a good team. The way you look out for each other, and look out for us. You don't see that a lot these days.
Snow doesn't really need me.
I'm sure that's not true. After everything you've done for us, maybe they don't want to admit it, but without you, none of this would have happened. You listened when no one else would. You knew when to show mercy, and you brought justice to this town. Finally. Because you brought the Crooked Man in, everyone saw who he really was. So from where I'm standing, you did the right thing. You've been given this job for a reason. And I left Faith at your doorstep because I knew if anyone stood a chance against the Crooked Man, it was you.
I hope I've at least done some good here.
You've changed this place. For better or worse, Fabletown wouldn't be the same without you. You're not as bad as everyone says you are.
So I've been told.
I need to tell you something. I have to tell you something.
I
Feel like we've met before.
You're trying to place me. You like my ribbon? Do you like it?
Faith wore one too.
Would hide her beauty so she could escape his kingdom.
They used to call me the Little Mermaid.
Did Dr. Swinehart ever get back to you about Faith?
He said he wanted to run more tests.
I hope you find what you're looking for.
What was that all about? Weird? Is he like trying to imply that Faith and or Nerissa are not who they seem they are? I'm not entirely sure about this. Okay.
I'll see you around, Wolf.
Okay. Interesting. Is this the end? It's the end. It's the end of the game, I guess, and we have a few more choices to look at. What did you do to Georgie? Yeah, small majority killed him, but I mean, the other option was leave him to die, which is kind of the same. I guess it's slower, right? Did you give the crooked man a trial? Almost 90% of people did that, so a very overwhelming majority. But I have to say the trial was actually pretty interesting, so I'm glad I did that, because that made for a dramatic scene. How did you punish the crooked man? About half of them chose to imprison the crooked man. And I mean, there were two other options, like throw him down the witching well and, I don't know, kill him or rip off his head, which is both kind of the same, right? I mean, he's going to die one way or the other. Did you accept TJ's gift for Snow? Well, almost everyone did that. Why wouldn't you? What were your last words to Nerissa? About half of the people said, I hope I've done some good here. Again, since there were some other options, this is actually quite a large majority. Okay, well, yeah, there we go. The final decisions. Special stats. Oh, let's have a look at it. Beast, you lied to him about seeing Beauty outside the apartment. Beauty, you promised her you wouldn't tell Beast that you saw her outside the apartment. Yeah, well, that figures out. Bluebeard, you fought him after the interrogation. I guess I did. Colin, you gave him a drink when he asked for one in your apartment. You helped him to avoid the farm. Crooked Man, you took him back to the witching well. You imprisoned him. Faith, you gave her money after the fight with the woodsman. Yeah, and I was badly in need of money for pretty much the entire game until I stole money from Crane at the end. Greenleaf, you offered her a job. Gren, you drank with Gren after Lily's funeral. Lawrence, you went to his place first. You prevented him from dying. Oh, that's a good thing. Nerissa, you gave her a cigarette during your final conversation. Snow, you brought her along with you to the Trip Trap. You promised to bring the crooked man back alive. And I did. Tiny Tim, you chose to wait for him. Interesting decisions are being listed here. TJ, you accepted his beetle and promised to give it to Snow. Toad, you stood up for him when Snow wanted to send him to the farm. You gave him money. But he was still being sent to the farm, so that didn't really help, apparently. Which is kind of sad. But okay, yeah, here we go. That's it. That's the end of the game. And, well, yeah, the episode is pretty much the length of a normal episode. I still want to talk about this game a little bit, but since the episode already is this long, I will do this in a separate video, which is going to upload on Friday, I guess, if this one is on Wednesday. So I will, you know, give my verdict on the game and maybe a few questions that I have that I feel were left open. For example, the ending that I haven't fully understood yet, but there are a few other questions. But overall, let me say this, I really enjoyed this game, and I will have a lot of good things to say about it, I'm sure. So if you want to hear my opinion, check back in 2 days at the normal time and watch the video. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this Let's Play as well. And the next game I'm going to play is going to be Rise of the Tomb Raider. If you're looking for more Telltale games, I said that I would be playing Tales from the Borderland. But that's going to be, I don't know, maybe in 2 months. I'm currently playing Resident Evil 2, and after that I will play Assassin's Creed 3, and then we're going to play Tales from the Borderlands. So it's going to be a while, but it will be coming. Anyway, I will give you a more detailed schedule once I have recorded the verdict video, and then I will tell you when we're going to start with Tomb Raider. Probably, you know, after 1 day break, and then we're going to continue normally. But for now, let's end the video, and I hope you will come back for my discussion video. So as usual, thank you for watching, and see you again next time.